Hi guys, welcome back. So we have discussed strategic leadership. Going further, let us discuss what is organization culture. So I gave you 10 minutes of time to read corporate culture. So let me see, what did you study? So Aishwarya madam, tell me what is culture, madam?
Culture means set of
Set of
rules.
Or
Frame.
Okay, rules. Then law, legal provisions, tax rate. Tell me.
No, sir.
Then
Set of values like their own style for the organization.
So tell me what is embedded in the culture of Tamil people. So tell few things. What is culture? For example, I'll tell you, when you speak about Kerala, Onam, flowers, set sari, then what else can be there? That kayaking, rowing, something is there. Coconut oil. So these things are
Hello,
part
sir.
of the culture. Huh?
Now can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
So tell me more, Anisha, what is part of Kerala culture?
Kerala culture, of course, Onam is a big part. Kasal saris, we have Sadhya here, then God's own country.
God's own country, Pukalam, nature.
Yeah, backwaters. We have hill stations. Then I think, yeah, of course, Vallamgali is there.
What is that?
Boat race. We have boat race here, Nehru Trophy boat race, and many others. Main one is Nehru Trophy.
Very good.
Then what else?
Then Aishwarya, what about Tamil Nadu?
Sir, Tamil Nadu we have Pongal festival.
Pollution, population.
Sir, no sir. Pongal festival, sir.
Pongal. Then
we use that waist t-shirt, sari.
Okay. Then
Bharatanatyam dance.
Bharatanatyam.
Bharatanatyam. Oh, Kuchipudi is from Andhra Pradesh. Bharatanatyam is from Tamil Nadu, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, like that we have actually.
We have so much spiritual books.
No, in Kerala also we have. What is that?
Kathakali.
Kathakali and Mohiniyattam.
Kathakali is there, Mohiniyattam is there, and in martial arts, Kalaripayattu is there.
Yes. Then there are different lots of temple arts like Teyyam, then Kuthiyatam, like so many other.
Yes. Good. So in Hyderabad, the moment we say Hyderabad, biryani will come.
Yes, sir. Hyderabad biryani.
Hyderabad biryani, famous. So like that in Tamil Nadu, what is there? Tell me, Pongal you told. Anything else? So, jokes apart, keeping all this discussion aside.
Sir, like the spiritual books.
Spiritual books. Okay. For example?
Tirukural.
Okay.
It's not a spiritual book, but it's world famous book.
How come I am speaking more about Kerala culture than Telugu? So I'm thinking of in Hyderabad or Telugu culture, what is there? Okay.
Telugu culture, they eat more spicy food. Andhra food is more spicy.
Yes, because tobacco and mirch are two very famous commercial crops we have, and they export to so many countries. So when we come to the syllabus, when we speak about the corporate culture, simple. If if I come across my colleague, how do I behave with him or her? How do I greet? How do I dress? How do I groom myself? How do I appear? How do I present? How do I speak? All these things are part of culture. For example, Dressing etiquettes, it is a culture. Dining etiquettes, it is part of culture. Meeting etiquettes, speaking etiquettes. So in some places, you do not give a shake hand. That is a wrong thing. In some places, just giving shake hand is also wrong thing. For example, some countries like, you go to Paris. It is customary, if you look at a person, especially female, if you do not hug or peck the call, or if you do not take the hand and kiss, these kind of things considered to be so rude. So, one girl may say, I met Sriram today, he did not even hug me. How rude that guy is. If you do that in India, you'll be arrested.
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? If you do not give flowers, bouquet, if you do not give flowers, if you do not compliment, that will be taken as a very negative thing in some cultures. That idiot did not even say my dress is nice. It's a wrong culture. So if you tell that, in some cultures they accept it, in some cultures they might not accept it. Because it comes in the brought up, the principles they follow, the value system, the belief system, the philosophy of that particular region or the society or the country or the organization, and the thought process and behavior patterns followed and taught directly, indirectly by the top level people, the founder. So what is the belief system the founder has? What is the ethics system the founder has? So what he transmitted to people. So culture is actually a very vague thing. For example, in Google, there is no dress code. In Google, there is no dress code. You can go in any dress. You can go in any dress. But you look at companies like ICICI Bank, very strict in dress code. Very strict. Some companies are very strict in dress code. Some companies, they do not have a dress code. For example, if you are working in Google, you can go with a round neck t-shirt and shorts. You can go with your shorts. Some companies, they allow you to bring pets. So you'll go with your cat or a dog. You'll go with your, kids. You'll go with some of your friends. There are smoke zones. There are gyms. There are, pool rooms. So if you are stressed, it is quite common in some companies that you can smoke, or it is not considered to be a wrong thing if you drink and go to work till you are in your senses and control. But here it is considered to be an offense, like you murdered someone, you boozed and you go to work. That is wrong. So it is all about accepting. Just imagine you are going to your friend's place, or you are going to your relative's place, you are going to your chacha, Chinnamma Chinnappa's house, and you bought one whiskey bottle and you gave it to them. How will they respond, Sriram?
They will think that I am having drink for a long time.
Your
giving him
Chinnappa, Chittappa, you call, won't hesitate to kiss you with left shoe.
Definitely.
He will kiss you with left shoe. But here in some countries, you go to your friends or relatives' place without buying flowers and some alcoholic, it could be wine or it could be champagne based on your social status. If you do not give that, they feel very offensive. They feel very, very, very offensive. This guy, my brother's son, came to see me and he did not even bring a bottle of wine. How?
We used to bring fruits only, sir. Fruits or sweets, relative home while going.
I know, fruits, sweets, and if you are rich, dry fruits.
Yes, sir.
So basically, this is a very big and vague topic. If you remember, I remember telling this to you in one of the sessions. There is something called Hofstede, Hofstede, Hofstede national culture. So you Google it, you can read it from Hofstede website itself. There are 6 cultural pillars, they call it. One is called power distance, one is called individualism. For example, in some countries, especially in India, you follow family system. So in your decision making, family is involved. When you are thinking of something, family is involved. When you are buying something, family is involved. In some countries, it is too much of individualistic. Do I like this? Yes, then I'll do it. If my mom and dad are not liking this, I'm least concerned. Nothing wrong. I'm not saying this culture is right, that culture is wrong. I'm telling these are the different cultures. That's all. These are different cultures. And you cannot blame anyone for that, because it is how, they're brought up and all the things happened. Some countries are there which are religiously very strict. Some countries are there which are actually non-religious. Some countries are there which have stringent rules. Some countries are there where there are no rules. Some countries follow certain rituals very strict. Some countries will not follow. Now the question is whether this culture helps in strategy execution or whether it disturbs strategy execution. So what do you think? Anisha, what do you think? Whether culture is a friend or an enemy?
It can be a friend as well as an enemy, because sometimes in the nature of culture, we will be like not tortured, but we'll be forced to do things which we don't feel it's right. Then sometimes it actually helps us, to stay in place, I would say.
What is that?
To stay in place, like we don't overshoot, or at least we hold ourselves.
Correct.
So
Correct.
it's like
So
sometimes
certain things are social evils. For example, dowry system. So you cannot say dowry system is our culture and I demand 2 crore rupees. That is wrong.
True.
I have seen few of the instances where the bridal interviews are there, no, in arranged marriages. Both the families come together and they are preparing P&L balance sheet for consolidation. What? How much you will spend, how much you will bring, how much of gold you put, how much of gold you put, how many clothes for how many relatives you buy, how many clothes for how many relatives you buy. So they are speaking everything and they are listing it down. Before the marriage, during the marriage, after the marriage, what all they have to do, they are taking pen and paper and writing. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Really, sir?
Yep. That happens everywhere. Bro, it is not that only I have seen something in my life, in my friends, this discussion, that happens everywhere. So globally, boy liked the girl, girl liked the boy, they got married. So like our Chetan Bhagat said, in India, dynamics are completely different.
Yes,
Boy likes the girl, girl likes the boy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
2 states. Boys' family has to like the girl, girl's family has to like the boy. So like that, there is a big list. Chalo, keep all these things aside, we'll not deviate. Coming to the organizational culture and implementation of strategy, whether culture helps in strategy execution or whether culture disturbs strategy execution. Whether culture helps in strategy execution, whether culture disturbs strategy execution. It can be both. It can be both. So they say organizational culture can be a stepping stone or a pillar to the building, or it can be a cornerstone which will hamper your progress. It can be both. That is the reason when, Tata kind of companies, when they recruit people, when Tata recruits people, they will have extensive training to make them understand what is the ethics system followed in Tatas, what is the culture followed in Tatas, what are the do's and don'ts, what kind of behavior is accepted, what kind of behavior is not tolerated. So right from your dressing to behaving in meetings to, your work patterns to your reporting system to sexual assault, physical assault, racism, child labor, all these policies will be taught, and they will clearly tell you, Pavan, when you are behaving or when you are working with a female employee, what is appreciated, what is not appreciated, they will teach when I joined Tata's, so that you understand the culture. This is allowed, this is not allowed. So when I am in this company, this is allowed, this is not allowed. Strictly they'll tell you. Because you cannot allow people to assume or impliedly understand what culture is. No. Then what happens? This is organizational culture. This is individual culture. If there is no parity between these two, if my individual culture is not towards organizational culture, then I will not be able to work properly in the company. I will not be able to perform better. I will not be able to achieve my individual targets. I will not be able to contribute to the organizational growth. So this individual behavior patterns should be taken to organizational culture, where if 100 people are there, they should behave in same way. Inclusivity, diversity, what we spoke in human resource management. So you're looking at a person, who is completely different from your region or ethnicity. You are meeting black people, you are meeting Caucasians, white people, you are meeting brown people, you are meeting different people. So how do you behave? This is called cultural intelligence. Like, emotional intelligence, emotional quotient we call, like that we have cultural intelligence also. For example, if you are working in, an MNC, in that MNC, 10 directors are there. Typically, one director will be from China, one director will be from Japan, one director will be from India, one director will be from Germany, one director will be from US, one director will be from England. How much of difference will be there? Say, for example, you are meeting on, one business meeting. Business meetings happen with business lunch and business dinner also. Now, imagine you came from South India, and one person came from Japan, or one person came from Germany, and imagine on the table he ordered and he is eating a raw fish. A raw fish he is cutting and eating. Possible. Possible. You do not even know what is a sushi. So it doesn't matter whether you are a vegetarian or a non-vegetarian. When the people are eating like this, what is happening here? You should have cultural intelligence to understand the differences in the cultures and how can I embrace them. Now imagine cross-cultural marriages are quite common in Europe, okay? Because Europe has enough number of Asians, Africans, and Europeans. Lot of Asians, lot of Africans, lot of Europeans. So it is quite common. It is quite common that one European married to one African American or married to one Asian. It is quite common here. Now imagine how many cultural differences and shocks will be there. So basically, a culture which is accepted will make your life simple. A culture which is not accepted will make your life difficult. So it is all about the acceptance. It is all about the respect towards other culture or the other religion. Simple. The best religion is one which accepts other religions. Now you cannot fight to prove that you are superior or inferior to someone, or someone is inferior to you. No, you are an idiot if you are doing so. You understand? Aishwarya madam?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
I called Aishwarya madam, one sir came. Harsha? Who's that? Harsha, Niranjan or Sriram?
Sir, Harsha, sir.
Read corporate culture.
Corporate culture refers to a company's values, beliefs, business philosophy, and principles, traditions, work climate, ways of operating and approaching problems, and internal work environment.
See how huge, how wide the definition is. It is your value system, it is your ethics system, it is your belief system, it is your philosophy. They are set of principles, traditions, work climate, conditions, environment, and your approach towards solving problems, and your work environment, your thought process, your mindset. So you cannot define what is culture, what is not culture. You cannot. It is very difficult. Okay, continue.
The firm's own ingrained beliefs and behavior, thought patterns, business practices, and personality leads to its corporate culture.
Correct. So then they have given one small diagram. Compatibility, stumbling block, relation, prolonged conflict, weakness, and all. That diagram is nothing. You don't need to really care about it. This is an important question, whether culture is an ally, means friend, or an obstacle, that means enemy, to strategy execution. This is an important question. So this can be given in the exam. Okay, read this one, Harsha.
Yes, sir. With culture, ally or obstacle to strategy execution. Whether culture is an ally or obstacle to strategy execution depends upon the compatibility between the company's strategy and its culture.
Compatibility is the most important word used here. Okay. So whether there is any compatibility, that means a parity, or kind of consensus between your culture and strategy. So strategy is aggressive, culture is conservative, it will fail. Vice versa, it will fail you. So both should go in same direction. If compatibility exists, then culture will add a great value in strategy implementation. If compatibility doesn't exist, because of a different culture, the organization might fall also. Continue.
If there is compatibility exists, then the culture compatibility exists, then the culture becomes a valuable ally in strategy implementation.
Correct.
When the culture is in conflict with the aspect of the company's direction, performance targets, or strategy, the culture becomes a stumbling block that impedes successful strategy implementation and execution. When a company's culture is out of sync with what is needed for strategic success, the culture has to be changed as rapidly as can be managed.
So I'll give you a small example to make you understand how this strategy and culture are related. Imagine you are running a company like Unilever, who has 100 products. You're running a company and you have 100 products. These 100 products, some of them can be for male, some of them can be for female. Some of them can be for aged, some of them can be for young, some of them can be for kids. Your culture of, who consists in the family, whether you are having a joint family or a nuclear family, whether you are living with your parents, grandparents, kids, or whether you are living separately, this defines what products a household mother will buy in a supermarket. For example, if you look at India, your mom goes to supermarket, she will not buy products for herself and come back home. Do you think your mom will go to supermarket, buy products for her and come back home? Aishwarya?
No, sir.
She will buy
She will
products
not
for
buy.
your dad, for herself, for kids, for mother-in-law, father-in-law, mother, father, grandmother, whoever is there in the family. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Definitely, sir.
But a household woman or a mother in Germany or in France or in England will not buy goods for everyone. So this same company Unilever, when they are following one marketing approach to a target customer, they have to impress mother to sell kids product. You understand my point? But in another country, they have to impress the kid because kid is the person who will buy. Because the elderly person is the person who is buying this. So the national culture, the family culture, the cohesiveness, individualism versus group mentality, all these things will have a huge impact on your marketing campaign and strategy. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So this is a country, they have these behavior patterns. So I need to sell to them in some way. If I am following a strategy where mom buys goods for everyone, that is my strategy. But I am operating in Germany, don't you think I will fail because my strategy is against the culture?
Yes, sir. We have to format the strategy according the culture.
Yes.
Based.
But of course, I am giving you an example for company's strategy versus national culture. That is a different example altogether. Here we are speaking about the culture inside the company and the strategy of the company. But I'm just trying to make you understand how the dynamics work.
Yes, sir. Understood.
In this power index, Japan is the highest. India is also very high power index country. Like India's power index is I think something like 78 or 72, something like that per 100 in Hofstede scale, which means there is a huge difference between employer-employee. There is a huge difference between parent and child. There is a huge difference between teacher and student. There is a huge difference between your boss and you. So sometimes employee cannot sit in front of the boss, isn't it? So if principal comes or if teacher comes, student will stand. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
In many countries, it won't be there. In many countries, it won't be there. That is called power distance. Power distance. That plays a very big role. Why I am giving you this example is if you are working for a Japanese company, in Japan, I could be vice president finance and you are CFO. I'm reporting to you. Both of us are equally qualified, but you are in a higher position in the company. CFO and vice president went for a meeting. Vice president, or for that matter, any subordinate is not allowed to speak unless instructed by CFO. That will be considered as insubordination, indiscipline, wrong culture. So imagine I am manager, Aishwarya is my subordinate. Aishwarya has to open her mouth to discuss in the meeting only when Pavan tells. Pavan tells, Aishwarya, tell them this. Then she speaks. And Pavan sir, what if the other company executive asked a question directly to Aishwarya, not to Pavan? There is a guy on the opposite side of the table. Okay, he asked Aishwarya, what is this in the business discussion? Then also she's not supposed to speak. She has to look at me, the boss, and then she has to say, boss, can I? Yeah. Or I might choose, I'll tell. Power distance. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So you are very specific about who's the person I speak with. Power distance. That is the reason 90%
Understood,
of
sir.
marriages are not accepted. Okay. Power distance.
Sometimes,
Huh?
yes, sir. Sometimes we don't ask anything from father. It
Huh.
is through to mother.
Yes, power distance. True, it will be there. Even see, I tell you, unfortunately, in our education system, student freely, without having any hesitation or without being scared, he cannot even ask a doubt with the teacher, isn't it? I did not
Yes, sir.
understand this question. Student cannot ask because he is scared. What if the lecturer targets me in the coming classes? If I ask doubts. So asking or questioning is not allowed in some cultures. When I think I told you, we have done a project of global human resource practices in Mercedes-Benz versus Tata Motors. Mercedes-Benz is, Germany, European company operating in Asia. Tata Motors is Asian company from India operating in Germany through this Jaguar Land Rover. So how the behavior patterns change, we have done one study on that. Quite interesting. I got so many cultural shocks. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So I'm not saying this is right, this is wrong. What I'm saying is they're completely different. They're completely different. Chalo, anyway, so we'll continue. When a company's culture is not in compatible situation, out of sync, that means, Pavan sir, this culture and this strategy are not going with each other, Pavan sir, what to do? That is called change. You need to bring a change. Changing a culture, is it easy? Anisha, do you think a person easily changes his culture?
No, it's hard.
Now imagine, I have been a teacher in India for 15 years. Just imagine,
Okay.
if I start teaching in, just for the sake of example, if I start teaching in one European university,
Okay.
till today,
Hmm.
people call me sir, 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 sir.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, one student in my class called me, hey, Pavan, I did not understand that stuff. Explain. How will I take it?
Maybe a sudden small shock.
We'll get a shock. Then what happens, the individual mind thinks people should respect me like this, people should treat me like this. I might take what they are naturally doing, I might take it offensive.
True.
Then I need to understand, I need to tell my own brain, Pavan, idiot, you geographically move to a different place with a different culture. It is you who need to change. It is not the student who will change.
True.
True or no?
True. But
If you
it takes time.
if you have the ability to change your mind, if you have the ability to sync with the culture, you will grow. If you cannot accept it, what to do? Pack your bag, go back to your
Come back
country,
home.
live there, die there. Isn't it?
True. Yes.
That is what we call change. Is it easy? No.
No.
Is it difficult? Yes. Is it
Yes.
very difficult? Yes. Is it very, very, very difficult? Yes. Is it impossible? No.
No.
So this belief system is like iceberg or ice cube in a freezer. So you take that culture and you see, sir, this is bloody rock. The belief system is like rock. It is frozen. How should I change this, Pavan sir? Simple. Kurt Lewin in 1958, he has developed a process of changing culture, a process of change. In the change management, there are 3 steps. There are 3 steps.
3 steps.
Unfreeze, change, refreeze. What to do? Unfreeze, change, refreeze. Say for example, I have water in this container. In this shape, I have ice. I do not want that. I want that ice in this shape. What am I supposed to do? Take this ice out of the refrigerator, unfreeze it, change it to the shape what you want. Freeze it again. But Pavan sir, the example looks so simple, but can this happen so simple in reality? No. So what you need to do is, for example, like, you know, that Rakshasi, some movies there, no? Rakshasi, some Jyotika movie.
Yes, sir.
An excellent example. An excellent example for change management. Check the India movie is there, no? An excellent example for change management. It has both change management and leadership. Check the India is a case study in IIMs now. Do you know that?
No.
Check the India is a case study in IIMs. In IIMs, they teach, they will show Check the India movie, step freeze, and they will show one scene and they will ask the students, what did you learn from this? What did you learn from this? Like that, it is a case study now. The original movie for Check the India is, there is a movie called Coach Carter. So Check the India is actually, you know, inspired from that movie. That movie is also a very nice movie. Check the India is also a very nice movie. So how you broke the ice? One person comes, one girl in Check the India, she comes and she visibly exhibits arrogance, ego, no team spirit, and she says, I am this. So you are the leader. You need to change it. What will you do? First, break the ice. I am Chandigarh captain. So he will ask simple, is this Chandigarh team? No, this is Chandigarh team. And I am the coach. Out. Sir, she is the best performer. We'll have better performers this year. Even in Coach Carter, the same dialogue. Sir, he's the best performer. Coach says, this time we have new champion. You need to break that. So in a company, you know, coming back to our syllabus, in a company, you observed, you are the boss, okay? You are the branch manager. So from one branch, you know, from Germany or from England, you are appointed to be the manager for one Indian facility, which is quite common nowadays because of this MNC culture. It is quite common. Tata Motors, they have seen one exceptionally brilliant manager who's working in their Germany factory or who's working in the South Africa factory or who's working in the London factory. And Tata Motors felt this guy is required in our Jamshedpur. This guy is required in our Chennai factory. So they called this guy and they said, hey, Dave, from tomorrow, can you go to Chennai and can you handle that? He said, yes. Then you imagine that guy came with completely different mindset. And he observed people are not punctual. People are not disciplined. So 9:30 is the office time or 9 o'clock is the office time. Some cultures give highest priority to punctuality. Highest priority. If the office is at 9 o'clock, they will be there by 8:55. 9:01, they feel they are dead. So in some cultures, it is like, you know, it is something like the class is at 9 o'clock. The class is at 9 o'clock. The lecturer did not come at 9 o'clock, means he might have dead that day. So you can go to the Garland. That strict they are when it comes to punctuality. In some cultures, you come at 9:05, you come at 9:10, 9:15, 9:30, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. You can come anytime you want, like, you know, a government officer.
True.
Isn't it? But if you do not follow this punctuality, how your subordinates will follow?
No one will follow.
So one, you should be the model.
Yeah.
I am Dave Smith from Germany factory, who's delegated or deputed for Indian project for 2 years. I came and I sat at 9 o'clock in the morning. I know there are 70 employees in my office, and there is not even a single guy in the chair at 9 o'clock, including an office boy.
Okay.
What should I do? This is
We
called
cannot
change management. I need to be exceptionally brilliant in people management. Otherwise, I will fail here.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Now you tell me, Anisha, you tell me, should I go to this 70 people culture, or should I bring that 70 people to my culture?
In this case, I should bring those 70 people to our this
You
culture.
should bring 70 people to my culture, because my culture is on par with organizational culture. In organization, they said you have to be punctual.
Okay.
So the top level management of the company they never told me, Pavan, let people come whenever they want. No. Organizational culture and this boss culture are same.
Okay.
Employees culture is different. That is what we call process of changing a problem culture to the expected culture, which will enable strategy execution.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes, yes.
In Delhi, in one government officer's workplace, one boss who's IAS officer, he observed no one is coming on time. Government office, no one is coming on time. He has taken one decision. He has given RFID card to people, RFID tag, ID card. And every employee should access this ID card, should swipe his ID card into a biometric time recording machine, which will be automatically recorded, and an Excel sheet by the end of the day will be sent to the boss email ID. That Anisha came on so and so time, Sriram came on so and so time, Pavan came on so and so time, Aishwarya came on so and so time. So it will be there.
Okay.
He told 15 minutes I will tolerate. 15 minutes. 9 o'clock is the office. Up to 9:15 I will tolerate. If you cannot come before 9:15, say for example you came at 9:20, it will be half day leave, and you will lose your leave. You will lose your sieve, or for that day you will leave your salary. Do you think employees might have accepted it?
As far as I know, they will accept, but in a different way. Maybe if fingers are not enough, are not needed, just a card is enough. You can send the card with your friend, right?
No, that is another way. But what I'm saying is, whether people appreciate and accept the policy, the changed policy, do you think people will accept with open heart?
No, will not accept it, but I mean, may accept it, but not with an open mind. They won't appreciate it. Okay, they will be forced to do.
No, they rejected it. They made the IAS officer transfer.
Trade union.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously. So how to bring change? Basically, people resist change because they are happy in the comfort zone.
Okay.
Sir, in Tamil Nadu, a textile industry businessman and all, they will give 30 or 50 rupees as a like a tip if they come at 9 o'clock in office time. They will encourage them to reach office earlier.
Correct.
while opening the shop. 50 rupees tips like
Correct.
that.
Correct. Excellent. That is what we are going to discuss now in the process. It is there. Whatever you told, 100% it is there. So you need to give reward to those people who are exhibiting right culture. You need to penalize those who are exhibiting wrong culture, unaccepted culture. And another thing, you know, today we are sitting in 2022 in Karnataka, in Kerala, in Tamil Nadu. Even today, there are huge protests to accept Hindi, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Nothing
Yes,
wrong.
sir.
Few days back, I think in Karnataka, in one of the metro stations, some people have put that metro station on fire. They burnt the boards, they burnt the public property simply because it is written in Hindi. Now imagine people like Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, when they are working on consolidating India from different kingdoms, different linguistic states. In 1956, they divided country into states based on the language. And then they said these are the, you know, there is no national language as such. These are the accepted languages. How difficult it is for a person in North India to communicate with an officer in South India. For example, if I am from Delhi, you are Chennai office, I am Delhi office, we are working for Life Insurance Corporation. I cannot speak Tamil, you cannot speak Hindi. We do not have a common language like English. We are in 1956. How the company will work? There is a deadlock. So I will ask you, you learn Hindi, you will ask me, you learn Tamil. How the work will happen? Then they realized what percentage of people in India speak Hindi, what percentage of people in India speak Telugu, Tamil, Bengali, Malayalam, and all. Then they decided, let us have Hindi as a language because more people are speaking it. There is no logic, there is no oppression of majority, minority, nothing. These are political reasons. Okay. They understood that there is a huge protest from South India to speak Hindi or to adapt Hindi into work practice. To bring the cultural change, what central government has done, you know, even today it is there. Even today it is there in central government offices. In Cochin, there is a spice board. In Guntur, there is one tobacco board. There is one coir board, which is a national level board. There are, you know, officers in every street, LIC officers, State Bank of India officers, how they communicate. What they have done, you know, if you pass a diploma in Hindi, you will get this monthly incentive. If you pass the exam, you will get this monthly incentive. If you write a letter in Hindi, you will get this incentive. If you sign in Hindi, you will get this incentive. Even today it is there. And because they observed from Madras, there is a huge protest in the whole country. Where the biggest quantity of protest came to accept Hindi? Madras. They have started Dakshina Bharat Hindi Prachara Sabha in Madras. They are conducting these exams, they are training people. Finally, are they able to bring harmony in the country? 70 years. Even today, no. The chief minister of Tamil Nadu or chief minister of Karnataka or chief minister of so-and-so place, they say, we will not accept Hindi. Someone is superimposing. That is actually a political reason. I am also from those, you know, places only, but that is a political reason. I am scared of losing my identity. That is the reason I am protesting it. But you tell me, what's wrong in learning a language? We are not asking you to unlearn your language. I'm not asking you not to speak Telugu. I'm asking you to speak Telugu, learn Hindi also. No, I will not. That transcended, that passed on to generations, even this generation, people are not towards Hindi. But imagine you are from a place where Hindi speaking is zero. Hindi speaking is zero. You are from a remote village of Kerala or remote village of Karnataka. Your Hindi speaking is zero. But imagine if your father works in army, your father works in LIC, your father works for State Bank of India. You will speak Hindi. Yes or no? You studied in KV, you speak Hindi. Because you have to survive everywhere and anywhere. These are the differences. So basically, when I am Dave Smith, who came from Germany to Chennai office, or I am, a corporate office located in Delhi having branch offices in South, how do I change people? Like our friend told, textile industry in Tamil Nadu, they will give this 30 rupees, 50 rupees incentive to people. First, what you need to do is, what is accepted behavior? What is not accepted behavior? First, you publish it clearly. Tell them, I appreciate people coming at 9 o'clock. I appreciate punctuality. I appreciate time sense, because this is required when you are speaking with your customers. This is required when you are speaking with your suppliers. This is required when you are handling any of the stakeholder. So I expect you to be punctual. So I have to communicate it first. Step 1. Step 2, I need to conduct training sessions. With a positive vibe, I will make all these 70 employees sit in front of me and I will explain in a way they understand, or I will hire one trainer who will explain why time management is important, who will explain why punctuality is important, why dressing etiquettes are important. So we'll give you a series of trainings, 6 trainings, 8 trainings, 10 trainings. Step 2. Step 3, a reward system and a punishment system. Like, transactional leadership style. Those who exhibit this culture will be promoted, will be rewarded, will be recognized. That is the reason in schools they will give attendance award. Isn't it? Punctuality award, well-dressed award, well-behaved award, because that is accepted culture. The best student award goes to, why? Because out of 500 students, this particular student exhibited correct culture expected by the school. They will be rewarded. Those who do not follow the culture will be penalized. You came late, your teacher will ask you, stand outside or do 10 rounds in the ground, kneel down there. Why? You are exhibiting a wrong culture or a different culture or unaccepted culture. Step 3, reward system, punishment system. Step 4, even then people are not, listening to you, you will give an office memo, an official memo stating that if you continue like this, you will be terminated from services. I'm sorry. This is your first warning. One more warning will give you. After that, you'll be terminated. This is as per the HR policy. That's all. Then you recruit people, new managers who have this particular culture. For example, you will appoint 2-3 assistant managers who are very punctual. Then they work as change agents to drive the change. Maybe over a period, maybe 6 months, it might take 3 months, or it might take 9 months, or it might take 1 year, 2 years. But after that, everybody will work up to your expectation. Like, that Arjun's movie is there, no? One Day CM. What is that movie? Mudalvan?
Mudalvan, sir.
Yes, sir, Mudalvan.
So that change over a period it comes. But in movies, it comes very fast. In reality, it comes very slow. This is the process of changing a problem. Very, very interesting area. This, organization behavior, culture, leadership, they are very closely linked. Okay, leadership and culture, they are very closely linked. How much we studied, I might have studied at least 500, 600 articles on culture and leadership. So it is a very interesting area, but of course not for a chartered accountant. So, changing a company's culture to align it with the strategy is among the toughest management tasks. Change management is toughest. You can't change a 4-year kid, isn't it? You can't change a 4-year kid. Comfort zone. Now imagine if I ask you at what time you get up. You said 7:30. From tomorrow, get up by 5:30. No. So in a class, where do you sit? You sit in 4th bench. I asked you, come and sit in 1st bench. Next second you feel, you will not accept it. Next second you will feel, why this guy wants me to sit in 1st bench? Because you are asking me, I will not do. That is human tendency. It is not wrong with Anisha. It is not wrong with Niranjan. It is human mentality. Maybe even if Pavan is on the other side of the table, he would have behaved same. If I ask one student, come and sit in 1st bench, you might take it offensive. So if I ask Niranjan, come and sit in 1st bench. If I ask Anisha, why are you sitting in 5th bench? Come and sit in 1st bench. She will tell, I am married and I will tell my husband, Mary Ma, my sister, my mother, I am asking you to participate in the class and solve problems. No, I will tell my husband. What should I do? It's very difficult to change people. Small changes are this difficult. Imagine organizational, cultural change. One of my cousins settled in US 30 years back, I think. So 20 years or 30 years back. The kid comes to India. Such a cute kid, but such a difficult life for her in India because of the food we eat. Even if you give without salt, without chili, without chili powder, without any spice, if you give some dish to her also, she'll say, someone is trying to kill me. So she'll be here for 1 month, and trust me, it is a punishment for her. Unless you give the food what she eats, because she is born there. Their behavior is completely different. So they live in a separate bedroom, they sleep on a separate bed. So everything is different. You cannot say, you're bloody 5 years old, why do you need a bed? Before a baby is born, in the car, you need to have a babysitter, and the hospital authorities, before the delivery, they come, they check your car, whether you have fixed that baby chair in the car, whether you have put baby on board sticker. They will tick a sheet, and then he will go inside, the officer, and say, and tells the surgeon, sir, they altered home, they have this provision at home, they did this in car, now you can deliver the baby, sir, please. That is how you treat a newborn baby, 1-day baby. But here, even if it is 10 years, we can say, go somewhere, sleep on the corner. So it depends on, your social status, your economic status, your background. So acceptance won't come easy. That is a very big challenge. And you should have a lot of people management skills, persuasion skills, communication skills to make people understand and behave up to your expectation, which is not an easy task. This is probably the most difficult task for a manager. So what steps can be followed to change a problem culture? Okay, Anisha, read this, please.
Sir.
1 second, ma.
Okay.
From here.
Okay. The following steps can be followed to change a problem culture in an organization. Diagnose which facts of the present culture are strategy supportive and which are not.
So you note down list of points which are helping in my strategy execution, which are disturbing my strategy execution. I need to focus on second bucket. Second bucket has the cultural dimensions which are disturbing my strategy implementation. That I need to work on. Next, continue.
Talk openly to all concerned people about the culture that needs to be changed.
Then convene a meeting with all your staff and say this second bucket has a list of cultural aspects which are not accepted. Next.
Follow up with visible, aggressive actions to modify the culture actions that everyone will understand are intended to establish a new culture more in tune with the strategy.
Okay, next.
Revising policies and procedures which helps to drive cultural change. Alter incentive compensation to reward the desired cultural behavior.
So you have identified what needs to be changed. You have identified what are the steps to change. Then you revised the policy, and then you are giving incentive, giving recognition, and giving penalties. Continue.
Visibly praise and recognize people who display the new cultural traits. Recruit and hire new managers and employees who have the desired cultural values and can serve as role models for the desired cultural behavior, replacing key executives who are strongly associated with the old culture.
So you need to replace those people who are not able to change. I tried my level best, but this guy is not, able to change. What to do? Replace him, remove him, transfer him, terminate him. That's all. You cannot do anything more. Next, continue.
Communicate to employees the basis for cultural change and its benefits to all concerned. Enlist the support of first-line supervisors and employee opinion leaders, convincing them of the merits of practicing and enforcing cultural norms at the lowest levels in the organization.
So employee opinion leaders, union leaders, trade union leaders, frontline supervisors, that means functional managers and supervisors under them. These people need to work as change agents. They need to communicate to their level. Okay. Now, the last concept is entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship. Have you heard these two words, ma? I am sure
entrepreneurship, of course, I heard, but intrapreneurship, maybe not.
Intrapreneurship, you have not heard?
No, entrepreneurship is very much familiar.
Simple. I'll give it in one single sentence. Bill Gates is an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Satya Nadella is an intrapreneur. An entrepreneur is a person who starts a business.
Okay.
So you created a startup. You have an idea. There is a concept. To bring that concept into reality, you have incorporated an entity. Okay. And you have driven the organization through its startup phase. That is called entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Intrapreneurship means everything between you and Bill Gates is common, but the only difference is you did not start the company.
Okay.
You will be the change agent, you will be the chief executive, you will be the innovator, you will be the implementer, you will be the strategist, you will be the leader, you will be the corporate level manager. Everything is same. So whatever Bill Gates has done till today, from tomorrow you will be doing that. But the only difference is he is an entrepreneur because he incorporated an entity and he started a startup.
Okay.
When you occupy the same position as a senior director or as a chief executive in an organization which is already established, that is called intrapreneurship. Today, if you look at the world, every major corporate is handled by intrapreneur. You call any entity, you take Pepsi, you take Coke, you take IBM, you take Wipro, you take Infosys, you take Microsoft, you take Google, you take any entity. Maybe there are some exceptions like Facebook is run by entrepreneur because he's very young.
Okay.
Then Tesla is run by entrepreneur because he's very young. What if tomorrow he gives his company to another person to be the CEO? Obviously, that other guy will be an entrepreneur.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
So basically, both of them should be innovative. Both of them should be leaders.
Okay.
But the difference comes in the amount of risk you accept. Because at the end of the day, entrepreneur has accepted a business risk and faced a challenge of failure, whereas entrepreneurship is safe in that level and he's not taking any success or failure risk of a business because the business is already established.
Okay.
When companies normally bring entrepreneurs, one is succession plan. That means your existing CEO is retiring. So in the succession plan, a new CEO will come. He will be entrepreneur.
Okay.
Second situation is turnaround. You remember yesterday when the company is in problem, they have appointed an young executive, Shyamali or some name they have given, turnaround strategy. Then also intrapreneur will come onto the table.
Okay.
Intrapreneur should behave more like a consultant because the business is already set up. The process is already there. Maybe if some change is required, I'll bring.
Okay.
But
Otherwise,
I am not taking the risk of a startup, whether will it be successful or will it be a failure. That risk is not there, which is actually the biggest risk. So what risk Bill Gates might have gone through, Satya Nadella need not go through that risk, but that doesn't mean his life is a cakewalk. He has new challenges.
Okay.
You understand, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let us read the concept of entrepreneur and intrapreneur. Read this, please.
Okay. Concept of entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is an attitude of mind to seek opportunities, take calculated risk, and drive benefits by starting and running a venture. It comprises of numerous activities involved in the conception, creation, and running an enterprise.
So the most important thing here is starting, creating. Intrapreneur will not start a new business. Intrapreneur will not create an enterprise. You understand? See, when Sundar Pichai has become the CEO, the company restructured, and Google, till the time that was a parent company that has become a subsidiary, Alphabet came. These are different. Okay, I'm not speaking about restructuring. You cannot say, sir, Sundar Pichai also created one new company. He's an entrepreneur. No, this is something like accounting. Okay, substance over form. You should not look at the legal form. You should look at the actual substance. So this Sundar Pichai, Satya Nadella, these kind of people, they are entrepreneurs now. What will be the future plan of these people, If you are Sundar Pichai, if you are Satya Nadella, do you know what you will do after maybe 20 years, 10 years?
Artificial intelligence.
True, but you are no more working with the company. So you have done, your 20 years as CEO in Microsoft is over. You retired from the company. After that, what will you do? Then they become serial entrepreneurs. Do you know what is serial entrepreneur?
No.
One of my favorite concepts. Okay. They invest in a startup like a venture capitalist or like an angel funding.
Okay.
They will take the concept to a successful level.
Okay.
They will sell the company to another private equity, or they will go for public issue. They will make money. They will exit from the startup. They invest in another startup.
Okay.
So it is called, they are serial entrepreneurs. Even Elon Musk did that, you know. Elon Musk started a company, it was successful, he sold it for a huge profit, then he started another company, it is grown, he sold it, then he got huge money, then he started, you know, putting that money in Tesla.
Okay.
Otherwise, from where you will get capital? Do you think he is born with $1 billion?
No.
You have to create it. Dhirubhai Ambani has no capital, he created it. You can create capital.
Okay.
So today's intrapreneur, maybe he will become entrepreneur later to start new ventures, to start new businesses.
Okay.
And all these people are investing money left and right. Even Ratan Tata, you cannot imagine how many online e-commerce businesses they are investing money in. Ratan Tata, not now. Infosys, Narayan Murthy, Ratan Tata kind of people started investing money in technology platforms, started investing money in e-commerce. Can you believe 20 years back?
Okay.
Today also, we have not invested money in Amazon, Microsoft, and Google. Today also, we have not invested. Personally, of course, I have invested. A normal, I'm speaking about normal Indian. You will put your money in State Bank of India or Federal Bank only, no?
True.
These people did that 20 years back.
Okay.
So entrepreneur has a different metal, has a different nerve, has a different blood, has a different risk acceptance level. Everybody cannot be that. So different breed people. Continue, Ma.
Okay. An entrepreneur is a person who searches for business opportunity and starts a new enterprise to make use of that opportunity.
Next.
An entrepreneur is one who initiates and innovates a new concept, recognizes and utilizes opportunity, arranges and coordinates resources such as man, material, machine, and capital, faces risk and uncertainties, establishes a startup company, adds value to the product or service, takes decisions to make the product or service a profitable one, is responsible for the profits or losses of the company.
So these are the characteristics or the role of an entrepreneur. Isn't it simple and clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, who is an intrapreneur? Intrapreneur, read this.
Okay. Concept of intrapreneur. The terms entrepreneur and intrapreneur are frequently used in business world. While former refers to a person who starts his own business with a new idea or concept, the latter represents an employee who promotes innovation within the limits of the organization.
Within the limits of an organization, you cannot outgrow the organization. If you are entrepreneur, sky is the limit. But if you are intrapreneur, within the limits of organization, how can I innovate? How can I bring new ideas? Continue.
He is an employee of a large organization who is vested with authority of initiating creativity and innovation in the company's products, service, and projects, redesigning the processes, workflows, and systems.
So, do you think Satya Nadella is an employee of the company? Yes.
Yes.
Do you think Sundar Pichai is an employee of the company? Yes.
Yes.
Do you think Bill Gates is just an employee of the company?
No.
No. But these people are employees only. But to bring the ownership from them, to bring a sense of belongingness, Satya Nadella should not feel like I'm only an employee. Sundar Pichai should not feel I'm only an employee. The company offers them shares. Okay. What is the reason why they give sweat equity shares? Why they give this performance linked incentive? Why they give share based payments? Why they give ESOP? To give a feeling that you are at least part owner.
Okay.
And they say simple, it is like when you joined as CEO, the organization's market capitalization is, say, for example, 1 lakh crores, for example.
Okay.
These companies' market value is much more than 1 lakh crores. Okay, 1 lakh crores, even chiller companies in India are getting 1 lakh crore value now, unfortunately. So you joined as CEO of a company whose market value is 1 lakh crores. If I am the entrepreneur, if Anisha is intrapreneur, what I'll tell Anisha, Anisha, your monthly salary will be so and so, your annual package will be so and so, your emolument benefits, all these things are there. In 10 years, 1 lakh crore company should be 5 lakh crore company. This is your target. 5 lakh crore should be the market value of the company. If you achieve this, I will give you 2,500 crore rupees worth of shares.
Okay.
This is the package. All these people are in this package now.
Okay.
So if Sundar Pichai is getting 1,250 crores approx per annum, it is not cash salary. His cash salary will be maybe, just my guess, 200, 300 crores. Remaining 1,000 crores is there, no? That will be stock options.
Okay.
But the beauty is every year they hit the targets, every year they are entitled, that vesting and grading will happen. Every year they get those shares. That talented they are. And that practical targets are not impractical. People are efficient. So there is an article about Sundar Pichai. After 5 years or 10 years, when you have, do you know when Bill Gates retired to be Microsoft CEO, before Satya Nadella, before appointing Satya Nadella, first offer came to Sundar Pichai. You can read in Harvard Review that Sundar Pichai was offered CEO of Microsoft, which he rejected. Why, you know? He is that dedicated to Google. He said, no, some of the projects I am doing in Google are in the midway. I might get 100% salary hike. See, for example, I'm getting 1 lakh today. My competitor said, Pavan, you are working in X Limited for 1 lakh. You come here, we'll give you 2 lakhs. Imagine, then I told Y Limited, sir, whatever I'm doing in X Limited is, work in progress, is in half its way. I cannot leave the company like that and come. Sorry, sir. Thank you so much for the offer.
Okay.
So then how X Limited will behave? They will cry and say, Pavan, you touched my heart. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Sundar Pichai has become CEO of Google with an increase beyond Microsoft's offer. That means be loyal to your partner, be loyal to your employer, be loyal to your company, be loyal to what you are doing, you will grow. No cheating. So when this 5 years 10 years contract will be over and they reappoint, imagine what is the retention bonus they get. The retention bonus could be, hey Pavan, your 5-year contract is over, we are appointing you for another 5 years, and your salary will be increased from X rupees to 1.2, 1.3, 1.5x, plus we are giving you an ad hoc bonus, one-time bonus. Chumma, because you are continuing, we'll give you retention bonus. Sir, how much it will be? 2,000 crores. So people ask, Pavan sir, is that money you are speaking, or in Telugu they call chillar penkulu? That means this coconut shell will be there, no? When you eat coconut inside, that shell you will throw, no? Is it money or that coconut shell? This is money entrepreneurs will get. Then they will have enough capital to be an entrepreneur. All these companies, you call it Flipkart, even the concepts like Redbus. Then before Myntra, there is one company called Jabong or something. Online
company. There was one.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, Jabong.
Do you know how much they spent to acquire these companies? Redbus was acquired, I think, in 2013-14. It was a company started with 30 lakh rupees. 30 lakh rupees is the capital. Jabong, Redbus was taken over by iBibo or Make My Trip. One among these two acquired them. Now, of course, Make My Trip and Go iBibo are same. They merged it. Make My Trip acquired the other company. 50 lakhs is the investment of Redbus. It was acquired for 834 crores. These are the valuations. Technology. So this manufacturing, putting big factories and all, those days are gone. That is not the business model today. You will not put a factory or an industry with 100 crore rupees, import machinery. No, those days are gone. Today, it is innovation concept. Innovation concept. And you develop technology, sell it. So basically, intrapreneur is an employee. But employee with big salary, big ESOPs, big status. But at the end of the day, still you are employee.
That's okay.
So Gautam is asking, sir, can we say Steve Jobs was an entrepreneur and Tim? Yeah, obviously, yes. 100% correct, Gautam. Steve Jobs is an entrepreneur, Tim Cook is an intrapreneur, correct. Okay, so what do they do? This big employee, what do? They bring creativity and innovation. You understand? Then read the last one.
Okay, sir. They take risk, discover new ideas, look for such opportunities that can benefit the whole organization, promotes innovation. That is why it has now become a trend that large corporations appoint intrapreneur within the organization to bring operational excellence and gain competitive edge in the market.
Nowadays, all big companies are appointing intrapreneurs. Okay, but you will see this rarely in Indian companies. Okay, so for example, Wipro is one of the companies with good corporate governance. Even then, Azim Premji had been the CEO for 50 years or 51 years. After that, his family member only will become CEO. The same thing with Reliance, the same thing with Godrej, the same thing with Hero, the same thing with any company you take in India. But globally, if you see, the trend is for intrapreneurs. So guys, do you understand organization culture, how to change organizational culture, leadership styles, and entrepreneur and intrapreneur? You understand all these concepts? Any doubts in this?